Dofi has been winning a lot lately, and with the release of ST17, here is a new deck just for you. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mobby here, and as mentioned, we have a new list here. This is for set 8.5, but this specific deck is still being played in OP09. Let's see how it goes. Make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, Fusion World, and Union Arena. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. If you've been watching my deck profiles and you've seen a previous Dofi, let me give you a little rundown of what exactly is different from that one to this one. It is still 7 Warlords, it is still swarming the board. However, we got rid of some late games. There's no late game Kaidos, there's no mid to late game Boas. It's all 4-drop and lower, with the exception of 2 events. So let's get started talking about every single card and how it goes. So here we have the Dofi. This is even though it says OP01, this is the ST17 art from the new starter deck, which has some ST17 cards in here. 5,000 power, 7 Warlords, Donquixote Pirates with 2 Dawn attached, and then you attack. Rest 1, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. If it's a 7 Warlords type with 4 or less, you can play that card rested. This deck is like 95% Warlord cards, so a lot of the times than not, even if you're not able to set up the top of your deck, you can still try to go ahead and go blindly, and you might get some good few hits here. This is one of those cards that isn't one of those. This is Sengoku, came out in OP07 121 on play. Look at the top 5. You grab 1 7 Warlords, doesn't matter what it is, and the rest go to the bottom of your deck. The high value targets from this are gonna be probably the Jinbeis, then the Gecko Morias that let you summon, and then the Boa Hancocks that is a blocker. So those are your best cards to get with your Sengoku for the most part. Next off, we have a new card from ST17. This is Buggy 122 on play. Look at the top 3, rearrange them, then place them back on top of your deck. A really good card, even though this deck is running a lot of 2Ks, and even though you throw it on the field and it's a wasted Perona per se, there are other cards in here that lets you bounce cards back, so you might be able to get this back in your hand. You use this if you just don't have a Perona, pretty much, to rearrange the top of your cards, so you can use your Dofi's leader ability. Alright, so running 4 of these buggies. Next off, speaking of the Peronas, here it is, some Thriller Bark, OP01. 121 on play. Look at the top 5 and rearrange them. This is only 3, but it's a 2K, and they both are 2,000 attackers. Honestly, because this deck runs really low curve, even if you have some Peronas or Buggies or even the Sengokus, which is 2,000, using 3 to attack the other opponent's leader for like 5,000 if you're able to is not a bad sort of option. So these are good just to throw them out as a potential attacker or bounce them back. So these cards are really good. So Perona setting up the top of your deck as usual. Now we have some Perfume Femurs. A lot of tournament decks are running 1 to 2 of these. I don't know if I would ever run like 1 copies of any card for the most part, so I decided to put 2 in this deck. So this is a 7 Warlords card, so it can be searched out by the Sengoku. 2 from OP07, select one of your 7 Warlord characters or leaders. They gain 2,000 power, so it's 2 for 2, except you use a card, but then your opponent cannot select blocker, cannot activate blocker if you use that to attack, which is, your game ending sort of thing. And of course, the trigger is drawing a card. Now we have our Tech Charlotte Puddings. We are running 2 of these in blue, especially in a low sort of curve like this. This is just an amazing card to use. 4/4/1 on play. Your opponent returns all cards in their hand to their deck and shuffles, then draws 5. Throughout the whole game, your opponent's going to be trying to fix their hand up, getting lots of counters, getting lots of late games, etc. Especially if they have more than 5 cards, you're going to be able to use this to essentially reset their hand. Okay, so those are those 2. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes, the 7 Warlords. These are all the cards here you want to summon. So let's get started. This is Crocodile, new card from OP07, 4/5/2. Well, I guess it's not new. On play, you rest 1 Dawn. You return 1 character, 2 or less, to the owner's hand. This is one of the cards where you want to throw back your Peronas. Your Sengokus are a huge priority, and your Sengokus if you can. It doesn't specify you or your opponent, so you can throw out, this to mess with your opponent if you do want to get rid of a 2K. Like maybe they have a 2-cost really cheap blocker, then you're going to be able to, return it. So there you go. This is primarily a 2K, but it's there if you want to attack. one of the best new cards to be released in ST17 Boa Hancock 460, one of the like 2 cards in the character deck where you just don't have counters. So blocker, 6,000 blocker is really good. On play, look at the top 3, rearrange. It's great to the top or bottom. Then you give 1 Rested Dawn to one of her leaders or characters. Now, adding 1 Dawn is not enough. You need to put 1 more on, but it helps you sort of get there. Or you can just put it on another sort of attacker you want and just go at it. So really, really amazing, great card. High priority get. Now for the bread and butter, you want to see this every single freaking turn if possible. It's your best card in the deck. Jinbei from OP07. 4-5-1. On play, you play a 7 Warlords 4 or less other than Jinbei from your hand. So it's just better than this because obviously, yeah, you can cheat it out for 3 Dawn with 2 attached and 1. However, it gets played rested, so that makes it more susceptible to being taken out the next turn. The Jinbei allows you to play everything. Oh my god, it's so good. I mean, everything, everything you want to play. So this is your high priority to search. It's your high priority to get back with this Gecko Moria, etc. Next off, Gecko Moria from ST03. 4-5-1. On play, add 1/7 Warlords or Thriller Balk with 4 or less. It's almost every single card you want from your trash back to your hand. So you can grab back Jinbeis, you can grab back 2Ks, etc. A really amazing card. Combos extremely well with Jinbei. You want these to be like your opening hands. Next off, another 2K, which is primarily going to be used for the 2K, but once again, it's 5,000, so you can throw it out if you want. From ST03 452 with a 1 Dawn, attack, draw 2, trash 2. Now, almost every single card in your deck you want. It's not a big problem, but you can sift if you just really, really need to. But for the most part, you're not going to have a lot of bricks in your hand at all. Next off, we have some Vanilla Gecko Morias. This is from OP02 461. So the reason why we're playing this and we are running 4 of these is because, as you've noticed, every single one of these characters is 5. If you just throw on your field, your opponent can get free swings at them if they're rested 5/5. So you do want actually some cards that are just a slightly above base level, so they have to spend some resources messing with their curve, etc. This is just, and because like this deck, you cheat out cards with Jinbei, you cheat out cards with this one. This is not a problem to put in the deck. Now, speaking of cards that are above the baseline of 5, another really amazing card, Edward Weevil. This is from EB01 460 counter. So you have 0 counters on Weevil, you have 0 counters on the Boa Hancocks. However, on play, draw a card. Amazing card. This is one of the best ones once again to cheat out with Jinbei because you get a big body on the board, big for a 4 cost, and you can draw 1 card. So running 4 of these. Now we have another new card from ST17. This is Trafalgar Law. 7 Warlords Sea Heart Pirates. 4-5-1. On play, you may return one of your characters back to your hand. Then if your leader is 7 Warlords, which it is, then you get to bounce back a 4 or less to the owner's hand. Now, there's a couple of ways you can play this. If your board is completely filled up, you can go ahead and use the first part here to bounce back a Sengoku. Use the second part to bounce back even more cards, so you can get 2 cards back to your hand. You can also return 1 card back to your hand to return an opponent's 4 cost or less. There is a lot of potential here. And you have great targets. You have really good targets. The Pironas, the Buggies, and the Sengoku. Amazing card. Really amazing card. Okay, and finally, for the last card of the deck, we are running 2 of these. Now, I was looking at a lot of tournament winner decks from Japan running into OP09, which is, this is what all of this is all about. Even though you're probably watching this in English, there's like a set 8 out and 8.5, which is the release of 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, the starter decks. This is still being played. And a lot of them run like they don't run events at all. So they might run maybe 1 Perfume Femur, and then they get rid of these gravity blades, and then they just run even more bodies on the board. However, I just can't bring myself to get rid of these. These, I feel like they're just really good. You go ahead and you bottom deck 2 6 costs for 7, and usually when I play this deck, you have a gigantic board anyway. So if your character, somehow tries to, come back with a bunch of stuff on the board, you're already going to have some stuff on the board. Might as well use 7 Dawn to get rid of them. And the trigger is amazing. If you get this out and you're able to bottom deck somebody, you're just that much far ahead with this deck. So that is it, guys. This deck is a menace. It is crazy strong, and I like playing it. There is a reason why this deck is tournament winning. A lot of people are calling it a complete menace. It's unfair. Dofi's crazy. There's a good amount of ways to play against Dofi. A lot of people are joking, hey, you should play the other Dofi, the green purple one, and play Birdcage to mess with all the characters. But yeah, there's like, it's just so good. I think in particular, Jinbei just enables you to do way much. If you have like 1 or 2 in your hand, I don't know, I say you probably might keep it, but obviously you want to start your game with Peronas, and if you don't get those Buggies and Sengokus, but yeah, you got to set up for Shizzle because this is just so strong, getting out of body for 3 and 4. And if you want some replacements, maybe you can get rid of those Gravity Blades like I talked about, and maybe you can add, get rid of 1 Perfume Fumer. You can add in those Martial Elite Teaches, which is a 2 cost that helps you set up the top of your deck as well with a card in your hand. But either way, this deck is crazy cool, crazy fun, and I hope you guys enjoy my deck list for today. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what would you add to make this particular archetype better. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.